Welcome back to my channel. My name is Josue and this is Hear Me Raw. And Hear Me Raw is all about me speaking my mind. And a lot of times I speak about topics that are very controversial, topics that are very divisive topics. And the time that we live in today. But it's funny, I speak about these topics in order to bring us together. Because these topics, I feel like even within myself, when I battle them, even I myself, I'm divided. Even I myself had my own programming, my own brainwashing that I've been through. And really, I'm trying to see the world through my own lens. Like, the opinions that you have, are they your own or were they implemented onto you? Were they planted upon you? Were you brainwashed? A lot of us were brainwashed. I'm not saying that brainwashing is not necessarily good or a bad thing. I just would love to see things go a little bit more differently in the world, because you look at the pure souls that come through the veil, and this is when someone gives birth. You're getting a being that comes from source onto this planet, onto this earth, and you look at the way that they are treated. And something I'm very passionate about is to help children, to help them have a good life. A lot of us are going through things right now, and a lot of it stems from childhood. And some people will say, oh, don't use your childhood as an excuse. But the first 7 years that you were in this life are, very important into like the kind of person that you're going to become. And those 7 years can either uplift you or bring you down. Now, even if you had bad 7 years, you can still turn that around and have a great life. But something that me and my colleagues have been speaking on a lot is, we speak a lot about succeeding through trauma, succeeding after having a lot of horrible things happen to you. And we look at art. Some of the best art comes from people that have very traumatic backgrounds, that have very rough upbringings. Or like when we go through a breakup, when we go through something, that's when we have like the best, the best art, And we were just thinking, like, does it have to be that way? Does life have to be so traumatic? Is that the only way that we can create? Can we not create through a nurturing environment? Can we not create through a loving environment? Do we have to go through that trauma? I was just watching a movie recently. It was called, what was it called? Flora and Ulysses. It's a Disney movie with, I love Disney movies. It's a Disney movie about this girl that finds a squirrel, and the squirrel happens to be a superhero squirrel. So, and something that she says, like, she said to the squirrel, after the squirrel just got hammered by this little toy, she said, the body can only go through so much trauma, and a lot of us are going through trauma. And in life too, recently, not only have we gone through a lot of trauma, but we are reliving a lot of that trauma. Some of us are reliving that trauma, and we have no way of getting rid of it. And if you do need a way to get rid of that trauma, if you're feeling trauma within your body, if you're feeling tightness within your body, go check out my video on how to get ready for your first yoga class and keep up to date with me. I'm going to be posting yoga videos and having online yoga classes that you can join, because yoga is a beautiful way in order to really get into your body and to release the trauma. The other day I went to the yoga room, and when I got into my first forward-facing dog, I just felt so much just lifted off me. And I've been doing yoga for a couple of years now, and teaching it for about a year. It has just opened me up. Yoga is to yoke, is to unify yourself. And I believe if we can unify ourselves from within, we can see a more inclusive and unified world from without, But yeah, the body can only take so much trauma. And again, like, we're reliving the trauma where we have the internet. And the internet is a beautiful tool. I love it. 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 But it can also be very dangerous as well, because not only can you go through the trauma, but then you can relive that trauma through the internet. And then through the internet, you can experience so much more trauma. Like, I never realized before going into this as an influencer and just doing YouTube videos and putting my words out there, that you become the target for a lot of things, and people are gonna say a lot of things about you. And then, of course, we have cancel culture, and essentially, we're like practically now, we're in an anxiety-ridden culture. And we're kind of anxiety-ridden even before the coronavirus happened. And now that the coronavirus is here and our lives have completely changed, people are in isolation, people are not getting the touch that they need, because we are social beings. And with cancel culture being so relevant, a lot of people are just canceling everybody. Like, legit, like, comment in the section below if you feel like you've canceled a lot of people in your life and you kind of wish that you hadn't canceled them. You know, because nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect, and someone's gonna mess up. Oh, cancel them, cancel them, cancel them, cancel them, cancel them. But if we look at it, if that's the criteria that we're going by, I'm pretty sure everybody would be canceled, and the whole world would be canceled. And where do we go? What's the point of that? You know, so we have to come away from that. We have to find a way to look at ourselves a little bit in a better light. And I believe in order to look at yourself in a better light, you do have to do some shadow work. You do have to go within. That's why, again, I bring yoga up once again. Your physical body holds all that trauma, and you can go through your body, holds all your insecurities, holds everything. And through yoga, you do that 1 hour a day. You get to explore your body. You get to bring oxygen to parts of your body that are not getting oxygen. You get to bring light. You get to bring love. You get to bring attention. You get to bring consciousness to parts of your body that you aren't always conscious of. And then you kind of realize how beautiful of a being you are. You're like a universe all unto yourself. You realize that you're a whole unto yourself. Not only are you whole unto yourself, but you are a part of everything around you. You're not disconnected from everything around you. Everything's not apart from you. You're a part of everything. We are all connected. We are one. Namaste. The divinity in me honors the divinity in you. And yeah, we have some demons. We all have some demons that we have to face. That's why the shadow work, and you can have your demons work for you rather than against you. If you ignore your demons, if you say they're bad, blah, 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 you ignore your shadow side, you're just like talking, you're talking yourself down. You're talking yourself down, you're saying negative things to yourselves, and you're putting yourself down. But how is that going to benefit you? So, you know, the important thing is to become whole, is to take the light and the dark, the yin and the yang, the two, they come together and they can work together, the masculine and the feminine. You know, bring them together to have the best possible outcome. And real quick too is just like, in this time, I know there are people that are atheists out there that don't believe in a higher power. I don't know how they get through it in these times, because it's very drastic and it seems like it's the end of the world. For me, I have to say, like, because I do have my angels, I do have my guides. You know, I don't go to church. I don't have anything against church. I probably will go to church. But the way that I was raised, I look at church in just a negative light for the most part. Just the way that I was raised and what happened to me in the church and what happened to me as a child. Church and religion are not my go-to. But even though church and religion are not my go-to, I still believe in a higher power. I still believe in God. I still believe in source consciousness. I still believe in love. For me, love is my #1 religion. If I have a religion, love is my religion. You know, and life is my Bible. You know, and angels are everywhere around me. God is everywhere around me. Life is beautiful. It's disastrous at times as well, but you gotta take the good with the bad. And once you can look at the world in a more expansive way, life here becomes a lot easier, because right now a lot of us are dealing with suicidal thoughts. We don't want to be here. We're becoming very antisocial. We're finding it really hard to trust people. We're finding it really hard to trust ourselves. We cannot trust the government because of everything that's been happening. We had Trump as a president. I mean, you name it. It's just like one thing after another, after another, after another. And then we seem to have this group of people that really wants to just keep us down and they just keep on feeding us things. Recently, I saw a video about the coronavirus saying that it's going to be around. It's going to be just like the flu. And, you know, and while they were saying it, they were just smiling. Like every single one of them were smiling. Like, this is not good news. So why are you all smiling? It's very creepy. So it seems that we have these nefarious people at work here trying to keep us down. And of course, you can see my skin color, right? I'm black. I'm black. And with the Black Lives Matter movement, we have seen how racist the world is and how much hatred there has been for our people, and more is coming out. And this is not like ancient history. This is within the century. This is within a couple of decades that this kind of thing was happening. And it's still ingrained in a lot of us. And a lot of us have to take that time to unlearn. And I hope that people are taking this time that they have to themselves to do the research and to really deprogram themselves and to really learn how to love one another. At the end of the day, we all bleed red. At the end of the day, we are all one. And my mission here, and to being part of the Rainbow Warriors here to unify all people, because we are all God's people. my mission here is being that rainbow warrior and letting people know, like, hey, we are one, we are connected. Your struggle is my struggle, and my struggle is your struggle. I believe, is it Xavier Rudd that has a beautiful song? I think it might be Xavier Rudd, it might be somebody else. I'll have to try to see if I can find that song. But it's like, if your neighbor's water is not working, do you not care because it's your neighbor's water? And then until it's like, and then your water stops working, then you're gonna wonder, is your neighbor gonna help you out? But like, other people's issues are our issues. We're all the same. We're all connected. This one way you can look at it is, you can go and, like, say you're from America and you have a bunch of garbage. You go and you dump it off in the Caribbeans, right? You dump it in that water. Oh, that water is far away from me. It's not gonna affect me. All the waters are connected. You pollute one water, you're polluting everything. You pollute air anywhere in the world, you're polluting all the air. You drop plastic in the ocean somewhere in the world, you're dropping plastic everywhere in the world. That shows that we're connected, and so many people have been disconnected. You can see it in capitalism, how in capitalism it seems as if you have to stomp on other people in order to get ahead. And that's just not how we're going to survive in this world. We have to see that we're all connected, that we have to protect each other, we have to be there for each other. And I believe the new generation is seeing this more than anything. My generation is definitely seeing it, but we went through definitely our shared trauma. And we have people that are set on passing on these trauma. They're set on, they want to keep this fight going. They want to keep this separation going. They want to keep this hatred going. And I'm not about it. Whether it's about racism, sexism, homophobia, all that stuff. People are people. People are souls. People are spiritual beings. We're all souls that are here. And once I started seeing the world in that way, for me, the world became a lot more beautiful. If you don't see the world in that way, it can be very easy to say that someone else is less than you, and then you can treat someone like crap, essentially. So we have to get away from this aspect of dehumanizing other humans and actually seeing them for who they are. And I see a lot of it in the world. Like, don't let the mainstream media fool you. There are a lot of people out there doing God's work, I would say. And if you don't want to use God's work, there's just people out there that are just loving, that are seeing what's going on, and they're fighting for each other. People are befriending each other. People are taking the time to understand each other. People hate what they don't understand, so seek to understand. And for me, one big thing I have is like using a book, whatever book it may be, to judge somebody else, to belittle somebody else, to dehumanize somebody else, and to justify their violence. Because through religion, through these teachings and things like that, a lot of violence has been allowed for such a long time. I mean, the Bible wasn't even used to justify slavery, So we have a lot of unlearning to do. We have a lot of deprogramming to do. We have a lot of inner work to do. We have a lot of shadow work to do. And this is fun, honestly. If you do this work, life is going to be great for you. And hopefully we can change things around to where we are living a better quality of life. And then we're seeing each other as we should. And also, too, we can get back to a more youthful way of living. One of my favorite movies, The Little Prince, the grandpa or the older gentleman, when he's speaking to the little girl, he says, it's not growing up that's the issue, it's forgetting. We're all going to grow up. Our bodies are going to grow up, but our soul is eternal. But that soul gets tarnished through events, and the next thing you know, that soul that came here with a lot of love, that love now is like just engulfed and surrounded by a lot of hatred and things like that. And because that person didn't take the time to, not to take it personal, because that person did not, do the research and figure out that it's an unlimited soul that came here and chose their parents, chose that, they chose the life that they're in order to learn specific lessons. That's what the spiritual teachings are teaching us. We chose where we are. So if we realize that we chose to be where we are, the sooner we do that, the sooner we can take charge. Rather than being a victim to everything that's happening to us, we can take charge. We can start making the decisions that are going to lead us forward. We can start creating our own reality. And in the way that I see that we create our own reality, and at least for me, the way that the universe communicates with me, it's a lot of numbers and a lot of synchronicities, a lot of coincidences that are really not coincidences. I be thinking of a word, and then boom, I see it. Sometimes I think of a number, boom, I see the number. I'll get voices in my head sometimes. They'll tell me to look this way. Next thing you know, boom, there's a number there. There's synchronicity there. A beautiful thing that can happen to me sometimes as well. It's so wild. is, I'll go through a day, or maybe like, it's like a week of events, and just a bunch of synchronicities happening and things that come to me, and something will happen in my mind would be like, you should remember that for some reason I want to remember this. And then I'll watch a movie, right? And then the movie has everything in it, and I'm just like, whoa, like that just, and it just reminded me of all the lessons that I've learned. So, and then I have people. That's the beautiful thing too, is like, this is beautiful when it's happening on your, like, to you. But when you have other people that you can talk about it with, and they're also experiencing the same thing, then you can have a little bit of a community around it. Then you can have people that you can talk to. Because I feel like, just like in the movies that we see all the time, when people have supernatural abilities, what happens? They get locked up, they get drugged, and they get put away from society. And now that we have social media, we have the internet, we're able to connect with people all around the world. We can see that other people are having the same things, and we can kind of actually, talk about, okay, I thought I was crazy, but you're going through it too, so what are you learning? So I've seen that a lot of us are like learning lessons individually, but even as we learn them individually, we are learning them collectively. And a perfect example of this, proven by science, is, I believe it was the monkey. Like, one monkey started doing something. I think it was like, started dipping the banana in coconut water, and then I forget exactly what it was, but a monkey on one side of the island started doing something, and then like, and then the monkey realized, this is really good. And somehow, without any monkey from that side of the island going to the other side, they started doing the same thing. And that shows you how they are connected. And just how, like, the animals in nature, look at the animals in nature. They don't have books, they don't have internet, they don't have all the technology that we have, and yet they learn and they take care of this planet. Without them, we would not be here. And they're so brilliant. You have bees that are doing like algebra and trigonometry. They're doing advanced mathematics in order to pollinate our plants and give us food. Like, there is a higher power here. There's consciousness is here. It's within all of us. It's within moving. It's within life, like humans and animals that are moving, but it's also within this camera that I'm using right now. Consciousness is just everywhere. God is everywhere. And if we can learn that, I believe we can have a better experience. Because otherwise, with religion, we've been taught that we're sinners. We've been taught that we're going to hell. And essentially you end up living your whole life in fear. You end up living your whole life as a victim. You end up living like life is happening to you or against you. And then you just sit there waiting for somebody outside of you to come help you. And for most of us, that person is a white man with a beard in the sky that's watching us at all times and shaming us and guilting us and telling us we can't do this, can't do that. We can't worship anybody but that person. If we do, they're going to be very vengeful. And then you think about, okay, so this is God that you're inspired to be. And then the God that you see is like this vengeful, angry person that's full of wrath. And then guess what? You might actually become that person because that's your God. Rather than having a loving God that you see that connects everything. A lot of people talk about, when they have near-death experiences, what they realize, what they notice on the other side is love. They feel love. It's like it's coming home. When we die, it's like we're coming home. So I kind of said a lot in this video, and I don't want to make it too long. But I believe if you were meant to hear this message, you're going to get what you were supposed to get from it. Because that's how it's been, And I want to put this video out there just so that we can have more hope in this world. Because, it's tough. And if you need to find help right now, do it. There are resources. If you don't have, if you need to find, mental health, because mental health is really, really important. We got brothers and sisters right here that are having a rough time right now, contemplating suicide or even doing or having done suicide. People that are losing hope. There's help all around you. You can ask the universe for help and get your messages, get your sources, get your guides to help you. But then there are also other humans around you that are wanting to help you as well. And you can be open to that. There are resources, so look them up. Therapy is not a bad idea at all. I know there's a stigma towards therapy, but do what you need to do. Take care of yourself, take care of your body, take care of your soul. And so that you can be here and be part of the Rainbow Warrior tribe, be part of the tribe that's here to bring people together through love, through unity, through compassion, through acceptance, not just tolerance, but through celebrating our differences, to have this that our differences are actually bringing us together rather than separating us. So this is my video for the day, y'all. I love you so much. Thank you. Subscribe to this channel for more videos like this one if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next one.